Alright, how's it going everybody? It's Chris and we're back with another pickups video. This is the first pickups video of the year and hopefully I'll do this once every month unless I'm broke and I can't buy anything because, well, I have no money. Just a little recap of January, and I guess from now on there's going to be anime reviews hopefully every week. It's been doing not too bad and I've been enjoying them, and it's been giving me a reason to watch anime because, well, I've watched a lot of anime and, well, and I know that some people are subscribed for the retro stuff, and don't worry, the retro stuff will come back. This is kind of a placeholder until I finish some projects that I hopefully plan on doing in the near future for this channel. So stay tuned for some retro stuff. Don't worry, it will be back, and my first time will be back eventually. But let's get this shit started. So the first thing is some pops. I traded it for some Magic the Gathering cards and some hockey cards that I got from another trade that I didn't even want, but I took them anyway because I thought maybe I could trade them. And I did, and I got some pops, and I'm probably going to trade these pops for something else that I would like. And so let's get started with this Deadpool exclusive, PX exclusive pop. I'm not very familiar with pops and how it is. I just prefer Nendroids because Nendroids are the superior versions, and pops don't have accessories, so, but it's cool anyway. It's Deadpool with a tie. Next is the GameStop exclusive retro version of Mega Man, and he looks pretty cool, but probably not going to keep him for long because I'll trade him for something else. But he looks cool and he'll look nice on the shelf for now. Next is some VHSs. Now, I do collect VHSs here and there because I still like watching them on a VHS player. In some movies you don't see them on VHSs, and they're only $1, so I picked them up here and there. First movie is one of my all-time favorites when I was a kid, and it's a Jeff Daniels film, and it's about ducks, and that is Fly Away Home. Next is Batman Returns. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite Batmans because it has the Penguin, and I liked how the Penguin was portrayed in this movie. Next is The Lost World of Jurassic Park. Now, the only reason I got this because it has the lenticular cover, and I know how some people like lenticular covers, Jordan. Last VHS is Star Wars Episode 1, like VHS Collector's Edition. I just bought it for main fact that it's in a big box. Other than that, it's still the same movie for what it is. Next up are some comics that I picked up, and I rarely buy comics now because they take up a lot of space, and I stop buying issues unless it's a really cool issue or key issue or first appearance of a character. But sometimes I pick up some paperbacks or hardcovers that interest me, and I saw these in a video that somebody talked about, and I thought, okay, this tickled my interest, so I picked them up. First is Kaiju Max. Basically what this is a bunch of kaijus like Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, even though they're not called that in the book, and they're on this planet all together, and I think they're fighting this big guy that's right here if you don't see it. Next is a comic book called Ordinary. Now, this is an interesting book for the main fact that this guy in the middle is basically the only guy that has no powers. And in this world, everybody has powers for some reason, but this guy doesn't. And something happens and he has to figure out what he needs to do. Finally, some current gen stuff that I've been wanting to get, even though it's been out in previous systems. I just bought them because, hell, they were on special and I just traded the other one. First up is GTA 5, and I got that during Boxing Day. Next is another game that I traded for a copy of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 because I didn't want to play that because it just didn't interest me at all. And I traded it for this game, Dead Rising 2. It's one of my favorite games on the PS3. It's a sandbox survival horror game made by Capcom. Next up are some retro puzzles. Now, I rarely buy puzzles because they take so long, and when I see them in thrift stores, well, they're cheap, but sometimes they don't have all the pieces. And this time I opened them and counted them all, and hopefully all the pieces were there, and yes, they were all there. First up is this really vintage looking TMNT puzzle, and it looks really cool. I like the art style back in the day, and hopefully I'll build it or just trade it to somebody because that's probably what I'm going to do with it, because this takes up space. Even though it's small, it's starting to take up space and I don't know where to put it. Next is a wrestling puzzle, and the only reason I bought it is because it's a wrestling puzzle and I rarely see any related to wrestling, and that is a Brutus the Barber Beefcake puzzle. Next up is a bunch of anime stuff that I picked up throughout the month, and I had to pick up some anime stuff because, well, this is an anime and gaming channel, so hopefully I'll be buying more anime stuff because surprisingly this month I found some really good stuff. And if you're new to the channel and you don't know, I do anime reviews weekly with my partner in crime, Christina, and if you want to check those out, I'll leave a link in the description with the playlist of all the videos. So first up is some volumes, I think 3, 4, 5 of Escafone. I've heard highly of this anime, and it's one of those mech animes that it's one of those essentials that you need to watch, and if you want to watch it, I highly recommend it because it's pretty good. Next up is some Sailor Moon DVDs that I found surprisingly at a thrift store. You rarely see anime DVDs, especially, and when it comes to Sailor Moon stuff, it's already scarce as it is, because back in the day, DVDs for Sailor Moon were pretty hard to find and they're pretty pricey. And even now, they're still pretty pricey, especially the ones that I'm going to show you. So if you ever see them in thrift stores or in a pawn shop or in a garage sale, I highly recommend you pick them up because they're usually worth a good. First is a Sailor Moon Sailor Scouts to the Rescue. Next is some Sailor Moon S DVDs. Now, if you don't know what S is, basically it's a season where they changed the voice actors and nobody gave a flying fuck about Sailor Moon. So some other company had to redub it and release it outside of the country. And it's pretty salted because I like the show and they never dubbed the entire series. It's like with Yu-Gi-Oh! They never dubbed the entire series. Rest in peace, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So what they are is Hard Collections Volume 1 and 2. Next is this giant board game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the only reason I bought it because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! And it looks pretty cool. Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh! I ended up finding on the same day some Yu-Gi-Oh! Tins of the OG release of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that is the one with Yugi and the, I guess, secret rare or limited edition Summon Skull. And the Seto Kaiba with the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Next lot, I paid $50 and I got it from Kijiji. Now, if you don't know what Kijiji is, it's basically the Canadian version of Craigslist. Even though we have Craigslist, but I just don't use Craigslist because it's kind of janky. So it's 14 games and I pretty much paid, I think, $3.30 or 33 cents for each game. So I thought it was an okay deal. First up is Peter Jackson's King Kong, Tourist Trophy The Riding Simulator, Suzuki Superbikes, Van Helsing, Prince of Persia The Warrior Within, X-Men The Official Game, Pac-Man World 2, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, Ghost Recon The Game of the Year Edition, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, Spider-Man 2, which is pretty much the only good Spider-Man game to ever come out, Silcom 2 US Navy SEALs, God of War 2, and the last game I'll be showing you is the reason why I picked up the lot, and that is Silent Hill 4 The Room. Last up are the last games that I picked up in January. Now, this is pretty much the best thing I found in this month, and I paid $50, got it from Kijiji. What it is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 1, Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 2, and lastly, the big boy of them all, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the pickups that I got within this month, and stay tuned because there is more actually for next month, and it's pretty surprising of what I got for next month. So that will be pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you next month with another set of pickups. Have a good day, everyone. Peace.